Throughout my years in the spiritual community and working on spirituality myself personally, I have come to find a lot of things that are discrepancies in the spiritual community or things that I don't agree with that is a lot of mainstream idea. And I want to dive into that topic today in this video, so stay tuned. First, I want to start off by saying that everything in this video is my own opinion, and it's my opinion because I have experienced these things. I have actually been through all of these things, and so I do want to preface that right off the start. And again, there are a lot of people that think differently than I do on these topics, and that's completely okay. Your experience is your experience, and everybody's going to have a different one. And so whether you have an experience like I do or a different experience, everyone's experience is okay as long as you, the vessel, you, the medium, you, the person, you, the one going through the spiritual experience, is comfortable with what's happening. So the very first thing I want to talk about is protection. You will hear throughout the spiritual community so many times that you have to protect yourself. You have to do protective work. You have to call in your angels for protection. Every time you do a reading, you have to protect yourself. And I fell into that trap as well. If you watch some of my videos from earlier in my development on this YouTube channel, I was always talking about protection and giving advice on how to protect yourself. Now, I still stand by those videos and I still stand by the techniques used to protect yourself. However, I feel differently about them now. So for me, I don't believe in always having to protect yourself, always having to put up this protective bubble, always having to make sure you have your protective crystals on, always making sure that you're calling in protection before a reading, because I've been there and I've done that. And personally, for me, I feel like that draws fear to me and it draws things that I don't want around me. So about a year ago, I stopped doing all of that stuff. I stopped calling in angels. I stopped worrying about crystals. I stopped worrying about protection. And instead, during a meditation one day, I felt myself as the light. I felt myself as the light of God, as a person of God, and it really changed things for me. I, in that moment, realized that I don't need protection. I am the light. I am of the light. I work from the light. I work for the light. And needing to call in that protection for me was a subconscious belief that I couldn't do my work without it, that I wasn't good enough without protection. I wasn't good enough without my angels around me. I was living in a state of fear, is how I felt I was living. And as soon as I changed my mindset on that and stopped with the constant need for protection and just said, look, I am the light, I'm of the light, that's it, I'm done with that, everything changed for me. I felt like I had burst out of this bubble that I was stuck in. And when you're constantly worried about protection, you're constantly worried about calling in angels or spirit guides or whomever for protection, and you're always getting your crystals in your pockets and you're always, oh, I gotta have my crystals. You are living in a state of fear. You are perpetuating fear and you're calling fear into your life. Now, again, this is my opinion and I have experienced this firsthand. So I know that that is not for everyone. And when I said before that I stand by my techniques for protection, if crystals make you feel good, wear them. If crystals and angels and calling in protective guides and angels make you feel good, call them in. But if they make you feel fear-based or they make you feel like you have to do this in order to be protected, I don't believe that we're living in the same space. I don't believe that that's something that is helping you as a person, as a soul, as a spiritual person, live in a space of peace, of calm, of just knowing. There's a difference in crystals and angels making you feel good, and there's a difference in I have to have this in order to be protected, in order to be safe. Okay, there's a huge difference in that energy. And so when I stopped doing that, everything changed. Now I do not ever call in my angels before a reading to protect me. I do not ever ask my crystals to set intentions to protect me. I do not ever anymore put that box around myself that I have to have this. I am the light. I am of the light. I work for the light, and I will only interact with the light. I have done this for a year now with not ever calling in protection, and my mediumship has changed. My readings have changed. My life has changed. My energy has changed. It's like I completely flipped the script on my subconscious and changed that belief that had me believing that without protection, I couldn't do it. So I hope that makes sense. If not, leave me some comments. Let me know. Let me know what you think about protection. If you think we should be doing it, or if you think that if you're living in a place of knowing if that's your protection. The next thing I want to talk about is the love and light community. Now, I wholeheartedly believe in love and light through spirituality. When I give my readings to my clients, I'm offering them love, light, healing, fulfillment. I absolutely believe that the work that healers do, mediums do, energy workers do is light and healing, absolutely. But it's not all love and light, and it's actually the complete opposite if you ask me. The spiritual journey, the awakening journey is dark and it's hard, and that's because you're healing yourself, and healing is painful. Reliving those traumas that you have pushed to the side or pushed down that are now coming back up is painful. It's painful emotionally, mentally, physically, and that pain is dark and it's hard to process. And a good majority of your spiritual awakening is healing work on yourself. And therefore, the community that's constantly saying love and light, yes, an aspect of this is love and light wholeheartedly. But there's a huge other side to this, the shadow side, the darker side, the harder side, where you're trying to heal yourself and awaken parts of yourself that have been dormant and sleeping for such a long time because you've been afraid to feel them, you haven't wanted to feel them, you've shoved them down. And so I definitely will never ever be caught saying love and light. I might say love and light of an aspect, but not all of it is going to be that way. There's so many more darker sides, in my opinion, again, about spiritual awakening and the healing process and the traumas that you're going through. Now, I do want to say that that healing process and the darker side is so worth the journey, because on the other side of that pain, on the other side of those dark, shadowy aspects, is love, light, healing, joy, bliss, happiness, an experience of life that you have never felt and you have never been a part of. When we have that pain and that stuff in us that just needs to be healed, it's calling those things to us subconsciously. And when we can release those things, new magic can come in, new light can come in, new love, new experiences can come in, because our body's not holding on to old experiences and old things. And then, as you know, spiritually, what you have inside is reflected out. So whatever you're having come into your life is stuff that you have inside of your body. So would you want to have that dark stuff, or would you want to have the light? So love and light, absolutely, I agree that there's an aspect that is love and light. But I don't like that terminology, because a huge portion of it is not that. And people get into spirituality, they learn mediumship, they learn Reiki, they learn healing. And when you do those things, you have to heal yourself in order to be a good healer, in order to be a good medium. And healing yourself is dark, it's hard, and it's painful. Another thing that's probably a little bit controversial here is the need to constantly ground yourself. I feel like the spiritual community takes things out of a person's hands and makes it so that something else has to help you, something else has to protect you, something else has to ground you. And so in the very beginning of my journey, spiritual community, spiritual posts, people on Instagram were always talking about, and still do, grounding and get tiger's eye and get black tourmaline and ground yourself and make sure you're grounded. You have to be grounded all the time. And I remember again in that fear mindset of, if I'm not grounded, I can't do this. If I'm not grounded, I'm not going to be good enough. If I'm not grounded, I'm not going to succeed. And I was always, every morning, making sure I was grounded. Every night, making sure I was grounded. I had the crystals in my bra, my pockets, my purse. I had them at my desk at work, in my car. It's like the need to have these things overcame me and overtook my own ability to know I am grounded in me. I am solid in me. Now, there are times where I feel, especially after I've done a Reiki session on someone or I've used my crystalline energies, I feel like floating in the clouds. And so I'll take maybe a bath or I'll ground in nature. But the constant need to always be grounded, make sure you ground, make sure you ground. After a reading, make sure you ground. You have to ground. For me, it feels like it's another subconscious belief that's blocking me from knowing that I am powerful. I am powerful in me and my abilities and my skills. Okay, I am powerful to know that I can hold myself here in this moment. I don't need crystals to ground me. I can hold myself here in this moment. I don't need the grass or a tree to ground me in every moment of every day. I hope this is making sense. The whole point is to find the power in you, to know that you are the one that's powerful. You are the one creating your life. You are the one calling your experiences into your life. You don't need to constantly live in this subconscious block or this subconscious fear that if I'm not grounded, this will happen. If I'm not grounded, what about this? If I'm not grounded, these entities and da. Again, that relates back to I am the light. I work in the light. And I feel it's related to grounding as well. I am grounded in me. I am grounded in my capabilities. I am grounded in my power. If there are times where I feel I need grounding, and it's not often, but it happens, I will go hug a tree, literally. I will go walk in the grass. I will go take a hot bath with Epsom salt and some apple cider vinegar, okay? But the constant need to always ground before a reading, ground after a reading, ground when you get up, ground in the middle of the day, it became so much of a stressor and anxiety on me that I completely stopped doing it. And it wasn't until about 6 weeks or so in that I realized, wait a minute, I haven't been grounding myself like I'm supposed to, and I feel amazing. I haven't been grounding myself like I'm supposed to, and I feel strong and powerful and confident. It was taking away my ability to know that I can do this on my own, that I'm my own powerhouse. So I hope that really makes sense for you guys. Let me know in the comments again, and we can discuss it. Let me know what you think about grounding. Another thing that drives me crazy are spiritualists or spiritual accounts who just show the happy, positive, amazing side of things, and they don't really discuss the pain and the agony and the shadow and the traumas and the healing. There are times where I am crying literally for days because I'm healing something inside of me. There are times where I am depressed for days because I'm healing or working through something, or I need a break, I need a rest. There are days where I'm angry for no reason, but that's because there's anger somewhere inside of me trying to come out. And you cannot hide those things. You cannot shove those things down. We are living in 2022. We are in a spiritual awakened world. Many, many more people are spiritually awakening. And I don't want them to think that they have to only be happy and positive and full of joy and expressing amazing things, because that's not accurate. That's not what's happening, especially on the back end of things. Now, I don't post all the time about crying or pain, but I post about shadow. I post about, not feeling well. I post about things that are really at the heart and the core of what's happening to me. And that is what spiritual work is. It's healing, it's pain, it's dark, it's hard, and you're not going to be in the love and light and always happy and vibrating in this space of joy and amazement. A lot of the time I am like right now, and it feels so good. But there's times where things in my body are ready to come out. And how do they come out? You feel them, you express them, you speak them, you cry those feelings out, you yell those feelings out, you sweat those feelings out. And it's not always amazing and joyful. There is a whole other side to the spiritual world, the spiritual life, the spiritual awakening that is not really talked about on a lot of spiritual accounts or in the spiritual community. There are many different aspects to being spiritually awakened or doing spiritual work, especially those of you that are healers. You go through ups and downs in life. You go through the ebb and flow of life. Just like the moon with the tide goes in, the tide goes out, the tide goes in, the tide goes out, and your emotions go in and out, just like the tide. And when they go out, let them out. Cry, be depressed, scream, yell, holler, punch a pillow, whatever you have to do to get it out. But don't believe that when you're doing those things, you're doing something wrong. Don't believe when you're angry, I'm not spiritual anymore. Don't believe when you're crying and upset and mad, my spirituality went away. No, that is wholeheartedly the core of spirituality, the core of this awakening work that you're doing. Be proud, be excited for what's happening, because it means you're healing your body, you're healing your soul, and you're getting those things out of your body. Thank you all for tuning in today. As for those of you asking about my mediumship development course, it is live on my website, soulcareintuitive.com. Go on there, check it out, sign up for the course. I'm so excited to see you there. And of course, my lovely friends, if you have any questions about the course, about this video, about me, leave it down below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.